are you, Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark made every single player around her more dangerous today. This is not only the best point guard in the league, this is an MVP candidate, and this is a contender for the best player in the world.
Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's hard foul. Angel Reese gets the ball. Caitlin Clark goes over, does a hard foul, commits a hard foul on Angel Reese.
This is a basketball play.
Now, with this play, they did call a flagrant 1 on Caitlin Clark.
They called a flagrant for this, which I do not think was the correct call.
If Caitlin Clark would have reacted that way last year, people wouldn't have been taking shots as often as they would have.
Right here, here it is right here. She comes in, just a little grab around her, trying to kind of hold her, really. And Angel Reese loses her mind. I mean, if you can't tell me there is not true animosity, jealousy, and agenda ate up right there, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that was a big nothing. Wow. Where was a technical foul for Angel Reese losing her temper?
This game had everything. Fire, fury, and a full-blown statement from Caitlin Clark. In front of a sold-out crowd of over 17,000 fans.
This is what a sellout looks like. 17,274 fans, and it was fully sold out. It was packed.
I'm looking at Caitlin Clark make an announcement today that it's over. The BS, denying her place in the game. She's going to rewrite and shatter the record books. She could easily average a triple-double.
What started as a routine season opener exploded into one of the most talked about moments of the WNBA season. Angel Reese didn't just foul, she exploded, charging at Caitlin Clark in a moment that instantly set social media on fire.
It's unbelievable. This is another view right here of Angel just really dropping F-bombs. I think she says, you're effing crazy, something like that, blah, blah, blah. You crazy as F. What the F is wrong with you?
Aaliyah Boston steps in and stops Angel Reese.
But what happened next? Caitlin didn't flinch. She didn't fight back with words. She fought back with a historic triple-double and a ruthless dismantling of the Chicago Sky.
Caitlin Clark recorded the first triple-double in a season opener in WNBA history.
Caitlin Clark, a triple-double, 20 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. Angel Reese, 17 boards, 12 points in a losing effort. Gets a double-double, they're gonna lose the game. She shot 35% from the field.
Caitlin Clark now has the 3rd most triple-doubles in WNBA history because she is that damn good.
In just 40 minutes, Angel Reese went from instigator to humbled, and the Indiana Fever made it crystal clear. This is a new era.
It was the worst nightmare that the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese could have possibly imagined. Destroyed the Sky in front of a sold-out 17+ thousand, fouled Angel Reese. Angel Reese loses her mind, tries to fight Caitlin Clark. It's glorious.
If you're a true Caitlin Clark fan, type Caitlin Clark GOAT 100% in the comments right now. It all started with a simple rebound battle, but quickly escalated into a fiery confrontation that defined the night.
Pay attention here. Caitlin pointed, a little hard foul there. Angel Reese gets up. Aaliyah Boston shoves her, gives her a little stiffy. Hey, don't come at Caitlin. But look at her. Angel Reese upset. Oh my gosh. Hey man, this was hilarious. Look, Angel Reese was pissed. Look at it. She was still going out there a little bit. Look, took the jersey out.
ESPN anti-Caitlin Clark agenda on full display. Going on and on about how that needs to be a flagrant foul.
Just moments after Angel Reese shoved Natasha Howard from behind while fighting for position under the rim, Caitlin Clark saw what happened and immediately pointed it out to the referees. But the officials missed the shove, and with the Sky quickly transitioning to offense, Clark made a snap decision. She sprinted back, delivered a hard take foul on Reese to stop an easy layup, and in doing so, ignited a powder keg.
This is a common foul. It's already a gift. Angel didn't try to swing at Caitlin. Wait, how do you call a T on Caitlin for walking away? How do you call a double T on Angel and Aaliyah, surely?
Angel Reese hit the floor hard, but what shocked everyone wasn't the foul itself. It was what happened next.
Jason Whitlock, other than jealousy, what is Reese's motivation for animosity towards Clark? I said she's jealous AF. She sees the attendance, the ratings, gate revenue. It's not close. She's a media-created rival.
Reese jumped to her feet, livid, screaming at Clark, cursing, and needing to be physically held back by her teammates. Aaliyah Boston and Courtney Vandersloot stepped in to keep her from escalating further.
Watch Caitlin Clark's face right here. Watch this. Caitlin Clark is back with revenge and not taking any mess. You understand me?
Reese untucked her jersey, stormed down the court, and kept hurling insults in Clark's direction, yelling things like, "You crazy as F," and "What the F is wrong with you?" The WNBA had seen physical games before, but this wasn't physical, it was personal. And while some might argue it was just the heat of competition, many viewers saw through it. This wasn't just frustration, this was jealousy boiling over. Multiple commentators and creators pointed out that Angel Reese didn't react this way because of one foul. She reacted this way because the spotlight is shifted. She watched Clark walk into the WNBA and instantly become the face of the league, the media darling, the one fans came to see. And in that moment, under the weight of a national audience and another looming loss, she snapped.
Now, what I didn't like that Angel Reese did is even after that play, she kind of kept going and it seemed like more and more people needed to hold her back. Like she was untucking her jersey, she was saying stuff to Caitlin and kind of walking down the sideline. I thought that was too excessive.
Meanwhile, the foul itself? Clark called it a basic take foul, a strategic play to avoid an easy bucket. Replay confirmed she was clearly going for the ball. Even Angel Reese, in her post-game remarks, admitted it was just a basketball play and that the refs got it right. But her on-court meltdown told a different story, a story of rising tension, bruised egos, and a rivalry that refuses to die.
Caitlin said it was either Angel gets a wide open layup or we send her to the free throw line. It was a basketball play. There was nothing malicious behind it. I just knew I had to foul her hard.
The WNBA tried to package this matchup as fierce competition, but Angel Reese turned it into a spectacle, trying to make Clark the villain when all Clark did was play smart, physical basketball.
People are going to make it into something bigger than it needs to be. They're going to make this rivalry come back, this manufactured rivalry.
And this wasn't the first time Reese let her emotions override the game. But this time, the whole world was watching. While Angel Reese was busy letting her emotions take center stage, Caitlin Clark did what she always does. She let her game do the talking. And on this night, that game was historic.
I mean, we're right back to where we were last season. Angel Reese continuing to have to use Caitlin Clark to cash checks. Angel Reese greatly overreacted, but I think she reacted in a way that I think many of us sort of expected her to react.
Clark didn't just respond to the drama, she dismantled it. With the entire arena buzzing from the confrontation, Clark turned up the intensity and delivered the kind of performance that legends are made of, a triple-double in a WNBA season opener. Let that sink in. No player in league history had ever done it until Caitlin Clark.
Most 20-point, 10-assist games in WNBA history. 10, Courtney Vandersloot. 9, Caitlin Clark in just over 41 games. And 9, Diana Taurasi, literally played for 2 decades in the league.
She finished with 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, along with 4 blocks and 2 steals, proving she's not just an elite scorer, she's a complete player.
This game was not close. 93-58.
What made her dominance even more impressive was the way she handled pressure. Instead of reacting to Reese's antics, Clark kept her composure, stayed locked in, and executed. She dropped deep logo threes, whipped no-look passes, and sliced through the Sky's defense with surgical precision. Every possession seemed to run through her, and she made it all look effortless.
But we have to give DeWanna Bonner her flowers because in this game, she moved into 3rd in the league's highest scorer in her first game with the Indiana Fever.
She has tied Tina Thompson for 3rd on the all-time scoring list. Caitlin Clark begging the crowd to get into it. Bonner celebrating.
Let's talk about some of those highlights. One play in particular had the crowd erupting. Clark hit a 3 at the halftime buzzer, silencing the Sky and sending Indiana into the locker room with a commanding lead. Another moment came when she dished a beautiful assist to Aaliyah Boston for her 10th assist, securing the triple-double. These weren't empty stats or garbage time numbers. These were game-defining plays that shifted momentum, crushed the opponent's spirit, and reminded everyone exactly who Caitlin Clark is. And speaking of Aaliyah Boston, she was right there with Clark, dominating in the paint.
Caitlin Clark blocks Angel Reese's 4-foot 2-point shot. Angel Reese had 4 block shots in this game. Aaliyah Boston had 5, including 3 in a row. One of them was on Angel Reese. Angel Reese, offensive rebound. Angel Reese misses 2-point shot. Angel Reese, offensive rebound. Angel Reese misses layup.
Boston recorded 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Together, Clark and Boston made history as the first duo to combine for that many blocks in a season opener. Natasha Howard chipped in with 15 points, and Kelsey Mitchell added another 15 of her own.
Aaliyah Boston, 13 rebounds, 19 points. Natasha Howard, 15 points. Kelsey Mitchell, 15 points.
This wasn't a one-woman show. It was a team sending a message to the league. But make no mistake, Clark was the engine. Even more humbling for Angel Reese was how Caitlin Clark directly impacted her performance. At one point in the game, Clark blocked Reese's close-range shot. Yes, the same Caitlin Clark critics claim can't play defense. She also stripped Reese under the basket on a separate possession, while Boston swatted her multiple times in the paint.
Angel Reese may be the most petty, insufferable athlete in sports right now. Her jealousy for Caitlin Clark has made her act a fool on and off the court.
Statistically, Reese did log a double-double, 12 points and 17 rebounds. But it was an empty one. She shot a poor percentage, missed several bunnies, and had no real impact on the game's outcome. In fact, every time she tried to assert herself, she got shut down. By Clark, by Boston, by the entire Fever roster. And while Reese unraveled, Clark rose. She played with poise, leadership, and confidence, never once stooping to the level of trash talk or cheap shots.
By the way, this is Angel Reese right after Caitlin Clark hit that three-pointer.
Her post-game interview said it all. Let's not make this anything it's not. It was just a basketball play. No excuses. No drama. Just dominance. Clark even thanked Aaliyah Boston for having her back, showing a level of humility and sportsmanship that stood in stark contrast to Reese's outburst. If anyone needed proof of who's the real face of the WNBA, this game delivered it in crystal clear 4K.
No one in league history with that stat line. Triple-double for Caitlin Clark, 20, 10, 10, 4 blocks, 2 steals.
And it wasn't just fans who noticed. LeBron James gave her a shout-out on social media. Dave Portnoy walked away $350,000 richer after placing a $25,000 bet on Clark, recording a triple-double. Tamika Catchings was there, courtside, hugging Clark after the final buzzer. And the entire arena of over 17,000 fans rose to their feet in a sold-out frenzy that felt more like a playoff game than a season opener. Caitlin Clark didn't just humble Angel Reese. She reminded the world why she's different, why she's special, why every arena she enters sells out, and why the Indiana Fever are no longer a rebuilding project. They're a real threat. Reese brought the fire, but Clark brought the flames. And in the end, only one name was being chanted as the clock hit 0, Caitlin Clark.
Dave Portnoy won $350,000. He placed a $25,000 bet on a Caitlin Clark triple-double right before tip-off, and he won $350,000.
Dave Portnoy actually posted a $25,000 bet that he had placed that Caitlin Clark would record a triple-double, undying faith in Caitlin Clark's talents. And what do you know? He is a whole $350,000 richer. And this is what he said.
All right, heading back to the airport. Just went to game 1. Caitlin Clark show. Triple-double, 20, 10, 10. Fever win by 40. I win $400K because I had 13-1. I told you it was Caitlin's season. The Fever the team to beat. And then obviously Angel Reese, who actually played okay and looked like she improved her game, made a mockery of her existence. She got fouled, totally common foul by Caitlin Clark, going for a layup, falls down and then attacks her basically and makes it just a joke out of her existence and why everybody hates Angel Reese. And shame on the WNBA upgrading this to a flagrant foul. That's a flagrant foul. It was the most common routine foul of all time. End of the story. It's a win-win-win. Fever looked great. Caitlin Clark looks like she's going to be the MVP of the league. Angel Reese made a fool out of herself, and we won by 100, and I won. So we're back in the good mode, back in the winning. Yesterday was tough with the Celtics, but we're back, baby, and it all starts with who? CC, 22, Caitlin Clark.
As the final buzzer sounded and the Indiana Fever walked off the court with a crushing 93-58 win, The scoreboard didn't just reflect a basketball blowout, it told the story of a rivalry that's no longer even close. While Caitlin Clark celebrated history, Angel Reese stood in the middle of a storm of her own making. She came into this game ready to reignite a feud, but instead, she walked away exposed for her poor efficiency, emotional instability, and inability to lead her team in big moments. Let's talk facts. Reese did finish with a double-double, 12 points and 17 rebounds. But anyone watching the game knows those stats didn't matter. She shot just 35% from the field, missed multiple layups, and repeatedly got stuffed under the rim. Caitlin Clark literally blocked her shot. Aaliyah Boston sent her packing more than once. Natasha Howard battled her on the boards, and with every missed shot, every frustrated foul, every time Reese slammed the ball in frustration or screamed at the refs, her frustration grew, and so did her exposure. Meanwhile, the Fever were focused. They didn't just beat the Sky, they humiliated them.
Indiana Fever destroy, obliterate the Chicago Sky, 93-58.
And Angel Reese's performance became a microcosm of a bigger issue. She's been cast by the media as Caitlin Clark's equal. But this game proves she's not even close. One is carrying her team with skill, vision, and leadership. The other is caught in constant drama, desperate to prove she's on the same level, while consistently falling short. Even worse for Reese was how social media reacted. Clips of her screaming profanities at Clark went viral. Her on-court meltdown, ripping out her jersey, yelling uncontrollably, needing to be held back, drew criticism from fans, analysts, and even former players. Some asked why she wasn't hit with a technical foul. Others called out her petty behavior, accusing her of using Clark's fame to stay relevant. As one creator bluntly put it, Reese keeps using Caitlin Clark to cash checks. And in a way, it's true. Despite the WNBA's attempt to market this as a rivalry, it's Clark who fills arenas, dominates headlines, and changes the game. Reese, she's trailing in the shadows of a spotlight that was never hers to begin with. Post-game, both players tried to downplay the incident. Clark called it a normal basketball play. Reese said the refs got it right and they should move on. But their behavior during the game told a different story. One acted like a professional, the other acted like a ticking time bomb. And while Clark showed class, composure, and character, Reese's reaction only added fuel to the perception that she's more concerned with theatrics than the game itself.
Caitlin Clark hitting logo threes, looking like young Steph Curry.
And here's what really hurts Reese's narrative. She didn't just lose the game, she lost the moment. This was her chance to show growth, to show she could hang with the best, to prove she was more than just attitude. But instead, she fell back into old patterns, overreacting, underperforming, and letting her emotions control the narrative. Meanwhile, Clark elevated everything: her team, the game, and her own legacy. The Indiana Fever made a statement. Caitlin Clark made history. And Angel Reese? She made headlines for all the wrong reasons. This game was supposed to be a battle. It ended up being a blowout. Angel Reese came in with fire, but Caitlin Clark came in with focus. And when it was all said and done, Clark didn't just silence the critics, she silenced the entire Chicago Sky. Her historic triple-double, her unshakable composure, and her sheer dominance on both ends of the floor sent a clear message. She's not here for drama. She's here to take over the league.
Pay attention here. Caitlin pointed, a little hard foul there. Angel Reese gets up. Aaliyah Boston shoves her, gives her a little stiffy. Hey, don't come at Caitlin. But look at her. Angel Reese upset. Oh my gosh. Hey man, this was hilarious. Look, Angel Reese was pissed. Look at her. She was still going out there a little bit. Look, took the jersey out.
ESPN anti-Caitlin Clark agenda on full display, going on and on about how that needs to be a flagrant foul.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese's outburst, poor shooting, and inability to keep her cool exposed the growing gap between hype and reality. Let's be real. There's only one true superstar in this so-called rivalry, and she just made history in front of a sold-out crowd while letting her game speak louder than any headline ever could. If you're a true Caitlin Clark fan, type Caitlin Clark GOAT 100% in the comments and let the world know whose side you're on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next breakdown. We'll see you in the next one.